Hello, my loves. Welcome back. If you are new here, I'm Gabrielle Dejoie, and today we're going to talk about spiritual cleansing. I know it might have been a while since I've been here on the YouTube space. It's just been a long year. That being said, I may or may not be talking about that in a future video. So we're today talking all about spiritual cleansing and how important it is that we do a routine spiritual cleanse, especially if you're somebody that is more in tune with your spirituality, more in tune with energy, if you're an empath, if you're a highly sensitive person. Overall, spiritual cleansing can help all of us, okay? So we'll get into that and also how to spiritually cleanse. What are some of my spiritually cleansing routines? As I'm filming this, we are currently in Pisces season, and I felt like not only have I had this video prepared for a very long time, but I felt like Pisces season is just the perfect time to talk about spiritual cleansing. Pisces is the last zodiac sign in the astrological year. So the year actually starts with Aries, ends with Pisces. It's like the culmination of the whole year, and Pisces holds it all. They are aware of all the emotions from Aries season on and all the bull that you had to deal with. And so Pisces season can tend to feel heavy for a lot of us. Water signs may fare a little better in Pisces season as with like other water signs, but what I hear a lot is that like the water sign seasons can be very heavy and dense for people, and that's because a lot of people don't necessarily know how to deal with their emotions or express or name or regulate their emotions, but that's a whole nother video entirely. Pisces season, because we're holding all this denseness, all this heavy energy, it's just such a good season to cleanse. It's kind of like when you're cleansing for the end of the calendar year and you're just like, okay, let me bring in new fresh stuff for the new year. Pisces season, think of this as the end of the year. We're trying to cleanse, we're trying to heal back the spiritual dust that might have gathered on us from this year. And let's just talk about why cleansing is so important, helpful, necessary, especially if you're in this spiritual space at all. There's an aspect to cleansing yourself that also can bring in protection. You really want to make sure that you are also protecting yourself spiritually. When we talk about our aura, the visual representation of how you yourself are doing mentally, spiritually, physically, the aura is kind of like this luminous glow that is around us all. You can think of this as a protective layer, in fact. In some iterations, it's described as like the subtle body, but your aura can take on different colors, and it really heavily is impacted by your feelings, your emotions, your internal self. As we go on with our lives, our auras are always kind of bumping up and rubbing up against other people and things. And so it's very easy if we are not intentionally protecting ourselves, or if we're not intentional about cleansing, that our auras can get very dusty and dirty just from absorbing other energies around us. When our auras are dusty and dirty and dingy, it can drain our life force and our energy. So the aura is always changing, always in flux, just as our emotions and thoughts are always in flux, right? Where we are, what we're doing, who we're around, etc. We want to make sure that we are cleansing that outside energy off of us. Even if we are in our perfect little bubble, are doing good, we're saying our positive affirmations, we're thinking in a positive mindset, we're eating healthy, we're doing all this, it's still very human, one, to experience, to feel heavier emotions, and two, we're also still exchanging energy with others. And so somebody else coming around you with nasty energy, you know, you can't help who you're around at the grocery store. There's all kinds of things that can happen to shift your aura and shift our energetic mood, especially when you're a baby witch or new to spirituality. There's a lot of things you are learning about, getting into, there's a lot of ideas and concepts. And so if you're connecting to things without having a full grasp of the background or the history, is this a closed practice? Is it open to me, right? There's just so many things that you can get wrapped up along in your spiritual journey. And so when you start becoming aware in that way and trying to really foster connection with spirit, you want to make sure that you're very intentional. For example, like when I call on my ancestors, I call on my elevated, evolved, loving, compassionate, those ancestors. I literally say that because I'm going to intend to get the ancestors that truly want to see me succeed and want to create this co-relationship in helping our lineage and family heal. Depends on your beliefs, but maybe all the ancestors with you aren't in your favor. So it's just something to know. It's like, how do I be intentional about what I'm tapping into, who I'm allowing to help me, okay? Especially when you're doing tarot, when you're doing things to connect and receive guidance from spirit, you want to make sure that you're tapping into helpful and spirits of the highest light. When you're not as aware of those things, you can tend to pick up negative energies, negative entities, right? And so you want to make sure that you are cleansing, that you're calling in specifically what you desire and what you want in terms of the energies to help you, and that you are making sure to protect yourself in the same vein, right? Cleanse, protection, and intention. This is not going to be an exhaustive list on how to cleanse because there are just literally so many ways to cleanse. You can't do one option, you can do the other. All of these are going to be beneficial in different ways and helpful on your journey as you are healing, growing, and as you're shedding the things that no longer serve you. So moving forward, let's get into just some of the things I love to do, some of the products I love to use, some of the ways I like to personally cleanse my space. One second. Okay. These aren't going to be in any particular order, but I will try to mention how often I might do this for myself. If I don't remember to just say it, I'll put it on the screen somewhere. One of the ways I love to spiritually cleanse is using Florida water. Okay. Spiritual waters. There's so many different spiritual waters you can use. Florida water, there's Kanga water, there's rose cologne, there's all kinds of waters that you can purchase and find or even make, and that help you with different intentions. So I really like Kanga water for like ancestor veneration or when I'm doing something kind of like sweet. Love adding this to spiritual baths, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Florida water. Okay, Florida water is amazing. It is a cleansing agent. I love this bottle. Can we talk about it for a second? Flip top. What? You can use this to cleanse dang near anything. You can sprinkle it on your rugs, on your floors. You can sprinkle it on your tables if you're doing spiritual workings. I use it to cleanse the altar. Well, actually, I mix this with some Rose of Jericho and a little mixture for cleansing my altar and my space when I make spiritual products. But yes, so what I like to do with Florida water specifically is add it to my laundry. When I am washing my clothes, I add a little bit of this. I add my detergent and then bloop, sprinkle, sprinkle. What it does is like your clothes, right? If we talked about auras earlier, but what is like on you? What's like that first layer? It's your clothes, right? And so your clothes can also pick up energy. They've been on you, whatever emotions you've been feeling. That is exactly why when you go and like thrift something, make sure you cleanse those clothes energetically. Somebody's belongings will carry energetic signatures with them. Energy is in everything. Energy is all around us. And so it's always impacting us and it's always flowing. One annoying thing, so I generally just can't feel comfortable sitting on my bed with like outside clothes anymore. And I did not care when I was young. I was just like out here in these streets, but it's something I can't do anymore because I know that that energy can shift into different spaces. I definitely don't want that energy in my dreams. At any rate, washing clothes with Florida water, I love to just make sure that we're starting off fresh. When we wash our bodies, when I come out of a spiritual bath, I don't want to put on clothes that have the energy from last week on me. Just a little bit in your laundry will go a long way to resetting the whole energy surrounding you. Another tool that I have that I actually make is the Lavin Glow Organics Spirit Refresh Spray. So this refresher mist is so dope. It is made of Rose of Jericho and cleansing agents in it that will spiritually cleanse your space. And so I love to spray this on myself if I've been in a heavy energetic space, if I'm traveling, if I'm in the airport, or I'm on a road trip and I'm going to different gas stations along the way. Like, I spray this after I come out of a place because, you know, places hold energy, right? Clothes, places, things, people, all of the stuff, right? And so I want to make sure that I'm just kind of like refreshing myself. So this Spirit Refresh Spray, amazing. Love keeping this on me. I've kept it on me for years. I don't travel without it. I keep one in my car. I try to keep one in my purse just so that we can have a reset, especially if I myself am feeling frustrated. It'll help me to remember to take my deep cleansing breaths. Literally, if you think of deep breathing as a cleansing, because it's like you're replacing the old air, old energy with new air and new energy, right? So this is one great thing that just helps me to slow down, take my deep breaths, go ahead and get the funk off me in terms of an energy sense. And also Rose of Jericho is known to bring blessings. So yeah, that's my Spirit Refresh Spray, and you can find that at lavinglow.com. Shameless plug. The refresher spray is as often as I need it. I use Florida water in every load of laundry that I do, because yeah. Let's talk about salt bathing in the shower. So you can actually have a salt scrub, and with intention, scrub your body as you're cleansing, and just imagine and visualize yourself being cleansed, right? The salt kind of brushing away your fears, your worries, anxiety, stressors, limiting beliefs, whatever. Salt scrub is one way that you can kind of energetically cleanse. And so whenever I kind of feel like it, I'll do this in the shower, but I'm also pretty intentional about taking my spiritual baths. So this isn't something I do as much anymore. But let's talk about what else you can do in the shower, and that is a like crown Auric rinse. And so I have developed a new product that I will be having in my store real soon. It's a hair tea and an Auric cleanse. And so what you do is you make an extremely strong tea. I'll insert some over here. You make an extremely strong tea with maybe 2 tablespoons of these herbs. The herbs chosen in this hair tea and Auric rinse have been specifically formulated not only to be beneficial to your actual hair and the health of your hair, but also cleanse your energy, cleanse your spirit. Hyssop, rose, lavender, red raspberry leaves, calendula. Those are some of the things that I have in my Auric cleanse. What these different herbs help you do spiritually is to cleanse your mind, your space. And so I've put intention mixing this together, creating this strong tea, and then pouring it over your crown chakra. That will cleanse your aura. And so cleansing your crown is like so important. It is really key. Your crown chakra obviously is your portal to the divine. And so cleansing your crown, it's really gonna be the best to get that like full body Auric cleanse. The next one, taking regular spiritual baths. Spiritual baths, once again, if you can get the crown chakra, if you can get your bath over that, that's going to be the most beneficial. But if you like just got your hair done, something like that, then you don't have to do that. You can just bathe in the spiritual bath. We got a lot of spiritual baths from What's the Tea bags, spiritual baths with the salt and all that good stuff included, but we have that in the shop. I like to take spiritual cleansing baths about once a week. I try to do it maybe like on a Sunday. It's a time to be able to sit with the intentions that you set for yourself, be able to release any negative energy or emotions or thoughts or feelings, right? This is a way that you can put your intention into what you're trying to create. Salt is a really key property in a cleansing spiritual bath because salt has such a absorbing energy. And so salt will, whether you sprinkle it in the corners of your home, that should probably be a whole separate one on this list. Salt itself is a very powerful cleansing agent. Sprinkle it on the thresholds of your house, your home, sprinkle it in the corners of the rooms. and it'll absorb that negative energy, and then you can just vacuum it up. Salt in a spiritual bath also has the same properties. It's absorbing that negativity. It's absorbing that energetic dust and dinginess. One thing you can also even do before a spiritual bath is to use some like really cheap table salt and cleanse your tub with it. You ideally want to cleanse like your tub of dirt first, but then you cleanse your tub with salt, because there's the physical that you're trying to cleanse, and then there's the spiritual that you're trying to cleanse. So using a little bit of cheap table salt in your tub to rinse out the old or dingy energy before you run the bath water for your spiritual bath, excellent. One other thing I want to talk about for your spiritual bath is that you do want to be cleansing yourself prior to getting in the tub. No, we are not sitting in a stew of our own dirt and grime. No, you cleanse yourself, you know, scrub yourself, get yourself physically clean, and then you can dry off, what have you, and then get in your spiritual bath. So the intention of the spiritual bath is for relaxation, recharging, and cleansing. Along with the salt of the spiritual bath, adding herbs, adding essential oils, adding intention, your specific like spoken intention into the water is so powerful. Water holds vibrations. Water holds emotions, right? That's why water is the signifier of emotions, but water holds energy. So when we speak into water, we actually do shift the molecular structure by what we are saying into water, right? And so this is just, you know, sidebar manifestation tip, like speak your intention, speak positive things into the water you drink, into your teas, into your coffees, anything liquid really that you are ingesting, because that energy is now going into you. It can help solidify or continue to enhance your intentions that you're setting. Back to the regularly scheduled program. Speaking a prayer over your bath water when you take spiritual baths, just exquisite. Yes, highly 100% suggest. Another method of spiritually cleansing that you may very well be aware of is using an herb to spiritually cleanse, right? We talked about herbs and spiritual baths. Herbs hold their own energy signature. They hold their own medicine. They hold their own power and intention. For example, rose being very passionate or representing love. Lavender representing peace, calm. One of the things I do regularly is cleanse my space with sage or another herb. Usually this is a mix of sage and lavender, and or Palo Santo, because sage, while it cleanses, it gets rid of everything, okay? Good, bad, ugly, whatever. It gets rid of all the energy. And then what we want to do after we sage is to bring in positive energy. You don't just want to sage and then be in like a bad mood and keep your bad mood going. You've just cleansed your space, and now you're putting like the negativity into that space, right? It's kind of like if you were to mop your floor and then your child runs in with like muddy, dirty boots, like right after that, right? And so what you're doing is you want to cleanse everything, but then you want to add some like sweetness. You want to add some peace. You want to add some positivity and set the intention for how you want to feel in your space. This can either be done by following with another kind of sweeter or more positive intention bringing herb. And so, like I said, lavender, Palo Santo, I like to use some roses in the bedroom just to bring in that sweetness, that passion, that joy. Sage is not the only thing that you can burn to cleanse though. And I want to make that very clear because as we know, sage is endangered. Palo Santo is also endangered, kind of like unethically sourced, right? And so use other alternatives. Use something that is more directly related to your lineage, okay? Because that might actually help you better than using something that is not your people's, not your ancestors' practices. I do use sage, but I use it sparingly. I don't necessarily like take the bundle and light the tip. I'll actually like break some of the pieces apart because for me, it's not in my known ancestral practice, although I'm sure it is back and back and back, but it's not to me known that I need to burn this all. I can set the intention that I can take a small piece, right, and be a little more like eco-conscious, I guess, burn a small piece, and that's cleansing my space for me. Here in my little baby cauldron, I actually have a piece of, this is a little end of a Palo Santo, I have lavender, and I have rose. And I really will just like light this, especially if I'm just trying to bring a sweeter, more uplifting vibe to the room. Sage, Palo Santo, yes, but there's also lavender. Lavender is protection. There's also garden sage. Garden sage can also be burned and is very plentiful. Frankincense and myrrh, it's very much more of an ancestrally rooted practice for us. And so burning frankincense and myrrh or copal, yeah, those kind of herbs are also a great way to cleanse your space. This is something that I like to do once or twice a month, especially if we had work done in our home, then I will sage or cleanse after, you know, somebody leaves, because I don't know what energy they're bringing into the home. I'm gonna reset the energetic status. Cleansing with herbs can also be done just whenever you feel heavy, whenever there's just a lot of negativity that you kind of are built up. If you're dealing with anxiety, if you're dealing with stress, like it's always a good idea to go ahead and cleanse, so that at least you're kind of only dealing with like your stuff instead of what you might have picked up from like everyone and everything else. It's also great to cleanse after maybe a disagreement or a fight or an argument. I'm not going to talk about specifically the prayers I say while I sage, but like I said, you want to either say a prayer, I don't know if I said this, but you want to say a prayer while you're saging. So anything less than love, you may leave. Okay, make sure your windows are open, make sure your doors are open. Don't be like just having spirits run around in an enclosed house. I will sage and just say like things I want to bring in, or say positive affirmations as I'm saging and cleansing. And then when I'm using something like lavender, I can say there is sweetness in this space. This is a loving, compassionate household where we communicate openly, blah, 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 blah. All those things, just setting that intention behind using the herbs, really important as well. Another way to cleanse is actually with sound. So sound bowls, bells, you can actually ring just a bell, and once again, putting your intention behind it. And we'll talk about intention in a whole separate thing, but putting your intention behind it, saying this bell will cleanse my heart chakra and allow me to, you know, whatever, come up with something that resonates for you, but put intention behind it when you are cleansing. Okay, intention is like everything when it comes to spirituality. So you really need to make sure that your mind is focused on what you want to see or what you're trying to achieve. Sound, excellent way to cleanse, especially like I said, if you just got your hair done, don't want to get your crown wet, right? Sound can cleanse. Using like 432 hertz is really indicative of bringing in like love and opening up the heart chakra. There's a lot of different frequencies we know that can cleanse and purify our space. Bells, sound bowls, listening to a sound bowl meditation on YouTube, listening to frequency music, all those can shift your energetic space and also be a cleansing agent. If you don't want to invest in a sound bowl, get a bell. There's some connection for me for angels and bells. Anyways, if you know, you know. Other ways to cleanse. Some crystals have specific cleansing properties. Some crystals never have to be cleansed. If you're maybe not new to spirituality, you know that you generally want to cleanse your crystals. You want to cleanse them under the moonlight, right? Oh yeah, moon. The moon is actually another cleansing thing. Okay, but anyways. This is selenite, and this is a very cleansing crystal. I have one of these tower kind of things in several different rooms because I found some at HomeGoods. You can actually put them with your other crystals and they can cleanse your crystals. Put like a stick of selenite on top of your tarot deck and it can cleanse your tarot deck. There's a lot of ways to use these and utilize selenite, but I have some selenite sticks and I'm just gonna use this, but you can literally like just do like this, right? And I felt that. I literally felt that. Put it over your energetic spaces where you might feel like there's a lot and focus on that space. And you can cleanse with crystals. So, crystal cleansing, having crystals around, another great thing. This is something I don't do a ton, but it's also something that I kind of set up to be around me, right? So like I said, I have a lot of selenite sticks around. I place them. I have like maybe one selenite stick in every room. Selenite isn't very expensive. At least it wasn't a couple years ago. Having them around, having that energy present means that it's kind of doing some good in terms of soaking up whatever I don't want there. Also, I'll keep a stick of selenite in like my crystals that I maybe don't have out at the moment. Like I said, you can also use it as a wand. Okay, this one is amazing. Let's talk about this. Prayers and visualization, because these two things are like the biggest keys to cleansing and protection, for that matter. There's so many different things you can do to cleanse. Obviously, we're, almost done with my list, but there's a lot of other ways to cleanse. And most of them, if not all, involve intention, that you are saying or connecting with your desire using words or using a feeling as you are doing the cleansing process. There's a level of intention that has to go into any cleansing. Prayers themselves can be very cleansing. I can literally sit here and meditate on a bright white light coming from my heart center and enveloping me in this bright white light, right? Which is, in the realm of spirit, like bright white is a very cleansing and healing light. It really can stand for anything in terms of like intention, and it just can heal and cleanse. So that's one way. A friend years ago, almost right, divine timing, right? She sent me the violet flame prayer. The violet flame prayer is a prayer that was developed that is literally you visualizing a giant violet flame that is engulfing you and protecting you. And the violet flame is such a powerful prayer and intention. I definitely suggest you look it up if that resonates with your spirit somehow. Based around Saint Germain and his gift of protection. This prayer is so powerful that you actually need to say a protection prayer prior to invoking the violet flame, because the violet flame is so bright and such a high light that it can actually attract more darkness, right? As light does. Just the fact that you're able to sit there, meditate, and pray intently on the protection prayer, calling on spirit to protect you, calling on the archangels to protect you, and then being able to shine this own healing light into yourself. I know it sounds really woo, but it's a really great example of the power of prayer. And I mean, honestly, if you're here, you probably vibe with some understanding of the power of prayer and setting intention and just being with spirit or being with your higher self. Visualizing being cleansed by source, going outside, grounding, getting in touch with the ground, and visualizing energy coming up from the core of the earth to ground you so that you are being cleansed by Mother Earth, because Mother Earth, dirt, all those things are very cleansing. Side tip, you can actually bury your crystals in dirt to cleanse them. So it tells you the power of earth, right? Clay cleanses us. It draws out toxins. You can do so much with just the intention, just setting the intention, prayer, and visualizing yourself being cleansed. Next, we're going to move on to floor washes. This is something I unfortunately don't do quite enough. I put down on here that I do it every 4 months, and that would be stretching it. Floor washes, I try to do floor washes as much as I can. I've been slacking lately. Anyways, what this is just making an intention-based floor wash that you're washing your floors with. So this could be adding a little Florida water to your mop water. Okay? And then what you do is you basically are going to start from like the corners, and you work towards a door so that you're dusting or sweeping or mopping out old energy. While also your floor wash, you're imbuing with blessings, you're imbuing with protection, you're imbuing with strength. Whatever it is you need at the time, whatever it is you're trying to bring into the home. A lot of people like to obviously call abundance into their home, sweetness, stuff like that. And so different herbs and different herb properties can help you in creating a great floor wash. One I know is really excellent is rue, rosemary, and is it hyssop? Rue, rosemary, and hyssop, because all of those are very powerful in protection, in cleansing, and bringing in this positivity. And then the last thing I'm going to mention is a window wash. And so this is something that I was guided to do right before the beginning of like the new year, trying to cleanse any windows, any mirrors you have, so that positivity can come in instead of them kind of being dusty and dingy. I would definitely like look up some information on that if you're interested in how to do window washes or what recipe might work for you. Yeah, guys, I think that's about it. I also got to run because I'm late for an appointment. So I'm gonna see you next time. Let me know your favorite way to cleanse and how do you stay protected, because maybe that should be also a separate video, because I feel like being spiritually protected right now, it's really important. That's all I'm gonna say. So stay cleansed, stay woke, and I will see y'all next time. I love you guys. Make sure you like this for me if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe, join the family if you're not already a family member, and I will see you next time, guys. Bye.